I'm Jackie Van Riller, and in today's video we're going to talk about how to get just one chin, or just one chin please, right? Because all of us, we don't want to have this little droopiness in this area or feel like we have two chins. So I'm going to show you some specific tricks that you can start using right away to help to firm up this area. So as always, we're going to begin by opening up our chest and our neck, and we're going to spend some extra time on this today because this is where we obviously get extra congestion and stuff when we have a double chin. So we want to start beneath the clavicle, supporting the skin and just opening up the passageways for lymph to drain. A lot of times people think that a double chin is fat, and a lot of times it's just this excess fluid. And so once we get the fluid flowing and we get our neck into better alignment, then that pretty much goes away. I'm even noticing on myself, like when you hold your chin down, you're going to have more stuff in there. So a lot of times we hold our chin down in an effort to block our throat. And so energetically, this can be about feeling like we don't have enough to say, or like feeling like what we say isn't important. We're actually blocking our throat chakra. So notice, do you hold your chin up when you talk, or do you hold your chin down? So just look in the mirror and notice that, and then practice just holding your chin up a little bit higher. Just, obviously not out of alignment, but try and just notice if you can just hold your chin up just a tiny bit higher and see what changes that brings about just in how much excess fluid you have underneath your chin. Next, we're going to work underneath or over top of the clavicle. Again, just supporting that. We're not using too much pressure. And then we want to come and work the shoulders. I'm not wearing the best shirt for wearing this today, but make sure you're working the whole shoulder area. This tension can prevent fluid from draining down your neck. So if you have a lot of neck and shoulder tension, it'll actually hold fluid in your neck and underneath your chin. We work all the way up the neck. I'm going to work in the front. I'm going to take this little angle here and work this sternocleidomastoid muscle. There are a bunch of lymph nodes right underneath of there. And hopefully you're feeling some good swallowing going on while you're doing this. It's a good sign that you're getting some lymph movement. Then I'm going to work underneath the jawline. Again, just supporting that skin the whole time. And make sure I'm working the back of the neck. The back of the neck is really important for the front of the neck, because if the back of your neck is out of alignment, everything's going to hang out in this area. So most of us have a tendency to keep our neck out like this instead of having it in line. So again, if you have your neck in line and your face lifted up, you're going to have less baggage underneath of here. Another technique that you can use that I really like is called the mewing method. And this was developed by an orthodontist who noticed that a lot of people keep their tongue on the bottom of their mouth. And orthopedic, or like the way you should have it aligned, is to carry your tongue on the top of your mouth. I notice that when your tongue is on the bottom, you have this extra gunk here. But when you put your tongue to the top of your mouth, it actually brings that up. So energetically, as you're just walking around, just think about doing that on a regular basis. So it's hard to talk like that, but if you're just holding your tongue in that motion regularly, where it's supposed to actually be, it's going to actually be better for your teeth, but it's also better for tightening up this area as well. And you can look up, it's M-E-W-I-N-G, so mewing technique. So I'm going to work the other side of our neck. I like to just get in the center of the chin too, just get everything in this whole area nice and loosened up so that everything can flow easily. Working above the clavicle. Again, this shouldn't ever hurt, it shouldn't be uncomfortable, but you should be able to feel some things loosening up as you're working. Coming up and working that sternocleidomastoid muscle that comes from the top of the chest bone and goes all the way to behind the ear. I like to call this the movie star muscle because you'll see most movie stars and models and actresses have a nice defined sternocleidomastoid. And working up the neck. Come right over the jawline and work under the chin. So we're going to come up the front of the neck. And you can even get the jawline. Now I like to just finish this up by putting just a tiny bit of oil on, just on the neck and the chest. So again, it's like 2 drops, barely anything, and we're just going to finish up by doing some downward lymphatic drainage motion. So we've already cleared out the passageways for lymph to drain, and now we're just going to encourage that lymph to drain even better. So what you can do is just take your tool, and we're using no pressure. Like literally the pressure that you have on your fingers is more than enough, and you can just do some nice downward motions all over your neck. Really get this front part of your neck here. No pressure. Lymph is very, very, very superficial, and so you want it to just drain really naturally. You can come over here and you can just do some really nice pumping. So pump, release, pump, release, pump, release. And that pumping motion just encourages it to move even better. You might feel yourself swallowing. You might feel like you're salivating more. That's all a good thing. And on the other side. You can even just do some really gentle motions here, just to kind of get some of that lymph moving. And one of my favorite things to do is to take this edge here and work outward from your ear. So you're holding your ear and you're working outward. And this is clearing out this lymphatic drainage area right in this area. And things can get really stuck right here beside the ear, especially right in this area. And so then you can take the tool, once you've opened it up, and just do some downward motions right there. And finish up with a few more just downward glides. Do that to the other side, holding the ear here. Might feel really good. It might be kind of tender if you have a lot of lymphatic stagnation right in this area. It might feel really tender. And if it feels tender, just go really gently on it. You may not be able to take care of all of it today, but it will go as long as you're working that area on a regular basis. And so then do some downward pumping motions here. And then do some final strokes just down your neck, just to kind of clear that area, get things moving and flowing. And you can always finish up with some more straight down your neck in here. All right, and so then just notice, like, do you hold your head a little higher when you do that? Did you get your neck more in alignment? So many of us are on our phones all day, and our phones are down here, and we're looking like this. And so that just leads to more stagnation in here. Plus our neck is forward in what we call tech neck. So notice, keep your neck more aligned, chin up, and use your phone like this, you know, so it's up in front of your face instead of down below. Or if you're on your computer, make sure that your screen is high so you're actually looking up instead of looking down. And then just notice in your day-to-day conversations, do you tend to look down or do you tend to look people in the eyes? And then notice, do you feel like you have important things to say? Do you feel like what you say needs to be heard? And notice when you're trying to maybe hide that part of yourself. And so just keep your chin up and just notice those things. So next we're going to move into some facial reflexology points that you can use to really decrease tension and get your neck back into alignment. So these are really powerful, and in this whole sequence, these are probably actually the most powerful things that you can do. So don't skip this part. A lot of times people think that, oh, this is, you know, it's going to be more the gua sha that's going to help, but it's really the combination of these things, so don't skip this part. So the parts for your shoulders and neck are going to be this corner part of your forehead. This whole area is like a little triangle right in here. And then the top of your ear. And then we're also going to want to work this bottom part of your ear here too, because this has to do with your throat and your thyroid, and it's about opening up those throat chakras so you feel comfortable talking about the things that you have to say. So we're going to start up in this corner here. You're just feeling for little lumps and bumps in this whole corner. Like I'm feeling a little lumpy, bumpy right in this area. So I'm just going to do about 10 to 15 little circles in that area. I'm just feeling this whole spot. And then feeling a little bumpy here. Most people are going to have a lot of lumps and bumps in this area because we carry so much of our tension in our shoulders and our neck. These are great points to work if you wake up with a stiff neck. A lot of times the neck is about looking back at the past. So when we release this tension from our neck, it's really about living in the present and not letting the past determine our future. All right, we're going to move to the other side. If you're still feeling a lot of lumps and bumps in there, you can spend a little bit longer. Don't spend too long though. You're not going to get all the lumps and bumps worked out in one session, but it's something that you can do on a daily basis. I'm feeling a lot more tenderness over here, so I'm just sticking in this area for a little bit. Right here is particularly tender. And then I'm going to work this little triangle area here. If your arms get sore from doing that, be sure to shake them out. Take a little break, roll your shoulders. You don't want to give yourself tight shoulders by doing this. You can also prop your hand up on like a yoga block or something like that to give yourself a little extra support. I'm just going to work this whole area in here. Especially working right down to here to point 34, which is specifically for the shoulders. If you have the 11 lines like I do, that is an indication of excessive shoulder tension. And it can also mean that you have a tendency to get easily frustrated or angered. And so that can happen when you have a lot of shoulder tension, right? Tension really is about anger. So So when we release that tension, we're actually going to feel less angered. We're going to get triggered a lot less than we do otherwise. And so notice as you're doing this on a regular basis, how does your mood improve? I bet that you see a huge improvement in your mood and how you feel. Definitely going to work right in this area because this is another throat area. So we just really want to open up those throat chakras so we feel comfortable talking about the things that are important to us. Expressing our needs, our desires. Find some good lumpiness right in here. And then we're going to work this area right at the top of the ear. Now you can actually go right into the hairline right in this area. Some people will have a lot of lumpy bumpiness right in this area. And if you have that, just go ahead and work that out. I don't feel that. But on my clients, a lot of times I'll actually feel like lumps and bumps in that whole area, and then I'll really work it out, and that can help a lot with shoulder tension. And then I'm going to work the bottom of the ears, so this point 14 for the throat and the thyroid. It helps to open up the throat chakra and help your ability to really speak your truth, communicate what you need, what you want. Help with lymph drainage. We're going to finish up with point 41, which is directly under the nose on the right-hand side, and just a little bit past the iris. This is for the gallbladder, and your gallbladder meridian actually transfers pain to your shoulder blade. So if you have anything going on with your gallbladder, you might feel some shoulder blade pain on the right-hand side, and on the left-hand side, it's going to be your spleen, which is in line with the center of your nostril and directly under your eye. So this is a great points to work if you have that sharp or intense pain that feels like it's coming from like your mid-back on either side. All right, and if you're looking to get rid of a double chin or you're finding that you have some excess weight under here, this is a great formula to do on a daily basis. Be sure to take pictures before and after so that you can really see the difference. And then notice, are you more able to speak your truth, speak your desires, and then just really work on keeping that chin up, that neck in alignment with on top of your spine, and practicing that, keeping your tongue on the roof of your mouth as often as possible. And be sure to look up the mewing technique, M-E-W-I-N-G, to kind of see how that's done. All right, enjoy, and I look forward to seeing your pictures of a more defined jawline.